Here in Los Angeles, police and residents are feeling the strain from a chronic shortage of police officers. I spoke with the LAPD's interim chief about how he's addressing the crisis. The LAPD has long been considered one of the most understaffed major city police departments in America, making the current staffing crisis all the more troubling for the top brass. Chief, is it fair to say you are severely understaffed?
Absolutely.
Recruitment, now a critical issue for interim police chief Dominic Choi. Among the three largest cities, Chicago and New York have about twice as many cops per capita, while Los Angeles is far more vast.
I think if we had about 12,000, we would be well staffed. And as of last Monday, we are at 8,832.
That's the lowest staffing level at the LAPD in more than 2 decades, and it's having a direct impact on the department's ability to police. Has the shortage of police officers simply made it harder to respond to certain types of calls?
I think it's made it more difficult to respond to all types of calls. Where we're seeing some slippage is our non-emergency calls. We've seen that number go from an average response time of about 20 minutes upwards to 40 minutes up to an hour.
Calls like this one, where a group of masked suspects use power tools to cut through the security door and safe at the Siete Mares restaurant in Boyle Heights, with the suspects taking off.
Everybody was on edge.
With no arrests made, Tanya Diaz and her family, who've owned this restaurant for decades, say the neighborhood feels less safe.
There's not as many cops out in the streets anymore, so we got hit, and then a couple weeks later, another restaurant got hit.
While violent crime trended down in 2023, property crimes were up, a revolving door of repeat offenders taking a toll on morale.
I understand the frustration that an officer works so hard to put somebody in jail because of criminal behavior, and then that person is walking out the door before they can finish their reports. That is frustrating, it's demoralizing.
Law enforcement agencies nationwide are feeling the crunch with unprecedented declines in police staffing since 2019. In a recent report, the Department of Justice calling it a historic crisis, saying departments are losing officers faster than they can hire new ones, citing labor market competition, officer safety and well-being, and increased tensions between police and the communities they serve.
It affects the ability of the agency to even respond to relatively low-level concerns, but that are high quality of life concerns for the communities.
To entice new recruits, the LAPD recently negotiated pay increases. New full-time officers can now make nearly 6 figures, about the same starting salary for a computer engineer graduating from the University of California system. Not everybody thinks a lot of police officers are a good thing. There are those voices out there that say this money could be used in a more efficient way. What's your response to that?
I'm an absolute supporter of alternative response. So there are certain calls that I believe that police don't need to respond to. To the people that think less cops are okay, I have to disagree. At the end of the day, you have to have a safe community.
Part of my conversation with the interim police chief here in LA. Up next, beach